All right, welcome. This is our last game in the second round. And let's look at the big scores here. The big scores look like this so far. This is the scoreboard we have. You can see the Woods Girl and the Witch King are tops after their pretty crazy game last week, where the Woods Girl scored 17 points, a ridiculous amount of points. It is the highest score I've ever seen, and she racked up, I think, 13 points in cards. It was literally just quest after quest after quest that she was able to turn in. I still have to go back and look at that game to make sure I didn't make grievous mistakes on her behalf. But she did very well, and the Witch King also did very well. The Pilgrim and the Magician, not so great. They hung in there, but not quite where I needed them to be. And I think probably of all of them, I screwed the Magician up the most by making one bad decision. One bad decision toward the mid game, which then affected my late game. And the Magician effectively ended up stuck in the late game. So it's interesting. That's part of the gig, right? So, but let's not talk about them. They're done. What we want to focus on is those last four dudes. We got the Wizard, Black Knight, Captain, and Dwarf. The Wizard won all the solo rounds. The Wizard scored the highest with 13 points. So again, before that was one of the best scores I had seen before the Witch King and Woods Girl blew that out of the water. So let's see how this one goes. These characters I love. Oops. Well, yeah, let's get rid of the scores here. Nope, that's solo. Jeez, oh man. Okay. If I could just actually work the scoreboard. If I could work the scoreboard, that would be great. And if I could not, boy, I'm messing everything up there. My mouse clicking game is not on point. Anyway, so we got the Wizard, Black Knight, Captain, and Dwarf. I love all these characters. The Wizard is very good in the quest game because of his ability to move on all secret passing messages. The Black Knight is a great fighter. He's good against goblins. He is good against native groups, especially the big boys like the guard. The Captain is great at, hiring the guard and moving the guard around and sort of taking advantage of that special ability there. And the Dwarf, of course, good in caves. And, okay everywhere else, but great in caves. And he's going to start down here along with the Captain. Now, the one problem, he doesn't have to. He could start at the inn. But the inn's up here, and that's a little bit of a haul to get to the cave. So my guess is the Dwarf starts down here. What else do we got going on? I think that's most of it. So here you go. Here's our setup. And largely what we have to do is we just have to pick spells for the Wizard, and then we are done with this setup. And get, of course, stuff, get quest cards and so on going. So I'll tell you what, let's get this started. The Wizard will be player 1. Black Knight is player 2. El Capitan, player 3. I don't know how to say anything else in Spanish, by the way. Puerta, I know, door. Okay. So let's delete all the stuff we need to delete. Lock, delete, lock, delete. Don't delete mine. Lock, lock, delete, delete. Okay, so there you go. Let's make this bigger-ish. Leave some space for cards. Move that up top there. I think we're good to go here. So let's clone this stuff. Not exactly sure how much space the cards are going to take, so and let's then got to be careful. I've been my tendency has been to accidentally lock way too many things. Accidentally lock or delete or grow or shrink. Way too many things. Let's be a little deliberate about it. And I'm sure it's super unexciting to watch me place all the bits, so I do apologize for that. Okay, so I think we're good to go with that. Got all the player aids in place, all of our guys in place. Let's get some spells for the wizard. So the wizard is 2, 3, 4. Type 2, type 3, and type 4. Which, oh right, and he takes one of these and deletes it for a spiffy fast. How do we want to do that? Let's put those here. And we'll put the type 2s together. Oops, and I forgot. There we go. The type 2s together, the type 4s together, and we'll put the type 3s together. And somewhere, I just actually noticed this. Somewhere they have put his chit. Yeah, so that's cool. Did not realize that the makers of this wonderful mod have already paid attention to all this. Done. So there we go. I usually pulled from the elf chits to get that chit. So there's our guy. And now we have to just pick some spells. So we got type 2s, type 3s, type 4s. Let's see. Let's search the type 2s. Elven Sight, roll 1 die. That strangely enough is not the worst spell ever. That is actually... So often I've gone through these spells and discounted spells, but you just keep reading them, and then at some point you're like, you know what? That's not the worst. That is actually a pretty good spell if you think about it. Roll 1 die on read runes, peer, and locate could be super powerful to find stuff. Now, what I've been taking is the flame sword for our wizard. Character gets a flame sword. I say turns his staff into a flame sword also, because that way he doesn't have to unequip it, unactivate his staff and activate. Length 8, L star star, L star star on both sides. So it is a long short sword. I don't even know what I just said there. It is a light medium sword. No, it's a flame sword, for God's sake. It is magic. Do not question it. It's a light sword with 2 sharpness stars. Though that's okay. It's not the best weapon in the universe. You're not gonna. A lot of characters would kill for that weapon, by the way. Like the Amazon she'd be all over that crap. But what the wizard has, which makes this super tempting, is he has this M3 chit. With this M3 chit, he can overstrength. He can overstrength that guy. Let me. So my latest camera has been sort of this. So there you go. So he can overstrength this guy. So it's medium star, and that means you're doing heavy damage to an armored or tremendous damage to an unarmored. That's huge, and he can do it fast. So that spell right there is a huge winner for our guy. So I'm going to consider that one for sure. I'm going to consider Elven Sight because, again, the other thing I like about these spells is because they use a different color than magic type, because the wizard only has two paired chits, he has two type 2s, two type 3s, two type 4s. It's nice to swap these around and have a type 2 that uses purple and a type 2 that uses gold, because you're just making better use of your chits. Whereas anything which doubles up, like a type 4, all the type 4 spells are purple. So as soon as you cast one of those, you are done. You only get one cast before you have to rest. Heal, sort of pointless, really. Stone's Fly is a little bit of a trap. Stone's Fly is not a terrible attack. It's 4 hits. The main problem is simply the fact that you are using the dreaded missile table and you're doing only medium damage. So against even the Vipers, you have to score what, a 2 or 1. Yeah, it's a rough haul. I don't know how you would make that work. Like, who makes stones fly there? The crux of their strategy. I think that's a loser. Summon Animal is pretty huge, actually. And this is wrong nowadays. We actually use the summon table. You can get 2 wolves. You can get a giant bat to fly. You can get snakes, something to carry you through the woods. So just as even a utility spell, even though it's not super likely that you're going to all of a sudden come upon one of these that's going to kill lots of things for you, you still have what I would consider to be a fairly powerful utility and get out of jail free in combat, because the 2 wolves can draw 2 guys off of your sheet. Torchbearer, great spell because you essentially copy the dwarves' best ability. Warp Wood, don't take it much, but man, it could be so good. You're essentially making yourself, who does he not like? He likes the Woodfolk Patrol soldiers and guard, unfriendly with the company, Bashkars, or Warlock, and enemy with the Lancers. So, for instance, although the Lancers, I think, don't have the crappy spear situation. And I'm sorry, I'm putting way too much thought into these. Yeah, see, the Lancers attack on both sides. They're not wimpy spear guys. The goblins, though, for instance, with their spears on one side that don't attack, this is devastating. Archers, like killing the woodfolk, Warp Wood is almost a guaranteed kill on the woodfolk if you have anything that can hit them. Woodskin is wrong. The card is wrong somehow. Yeah, I need to fix that card. I said that before. It makes you armored. Or makes your native armored. I don't love it. And blend in the background is okay, but I don't think I would. I don't think I would take it over any of the other choices we have here. Witch's Brew is sort of intriguing simply because it can turn your type 2s into type 4s. I do like the optional, even though it's a little bit of a cheese fest, but like if he wanted to take a spell to effectively make him a mini sorcerer, you could. So those are my type 2s. Let's look at the type 3s that I would consider. I have a lot less type 3s that I like for my guy. Now, type 3s are all 3 golds, right? So what type 3s do I have that I consider awesome? Awaken Monsters is great. I just don't know that I would take it on the Wizard. Control Wolves, frankly, pointless. It's a little more useful in the quest game because you might get Plague of Wolves also, and thus there's 2 possibilities to get the stack of 6 wolves. Why does Bewilder say control wolves? What the hell? Yeah, so there's a weird bug in TTS where these things go off by a... So I literally cannot trust anything here. I have to pull the card out. All monsters in the clearing are unable to change tactics for the rest of the battle. So this is effectively a slightly better, strangely enough, not a slightly better version of the warp wood, except it doesn't affect natives. So it's not a woodfolk killer, but what it would be a goblin spear killer. And if you have a side where something is an auto kill, but another side where it's a rougher fight or a death, Bewilder can make sure you don't get that point. Fleetfoot, great spell. It's a day spell, but it allows you to move through the mountains very easily. Lost is a PvP spell. Illusion's a PvP spell. Pretty. Mirror Images is a good spell. It could go with a melee caster sort of build. Roll to determine the number of mirror images. So what happens is you cast the spell, and then you get effectively a little die on your sheet which says, hey, you have 4 images. Every hit against you goes against the images until you run out of them. Persuade is a good spell. Sleep is a great spell. See Hidden Signs is a good spell. Wow, there's a lot of good spells in here. And Web is sort of, I don't love it. It ties someone to a fight box. So there you go there. Oof. I don't love the Wizard playing the same game that the Sorcerer plays. So you might look here and go, well, you take Fiery Blast because freaking Fiery Blast. And the answer is I don't love it. And the reason for that is that so you're playing Fiery Blast. Why are you casting Fiery Blast? You're casting Fiery Blast because you are facing 6 goblins, pretty much, or 6 natives. And these natives are light or medium, right? The goblins are medium. You're going to roll, and anything but a 6 kills them, but you're rolling on a stack of them. Problem is you cast a spell, so you cannot play an attack. You can play a move, but anything on, is potentially going to be on your sheet. So let's say you cast it from hiding. So you become unhidden because it is a multi-target spell. You kill 4 out of the 6 with a slightly unlucky roll. It's not even that unlucky if you think about it, because you have a 30% chance of still not killing an unarmored medium. The next 2 guys are now on your sheet. You can't run away, and you now have to fight these guys. And you might be able to. You also might get your ass kicked. The sorcerer at that point melts into mist and disappears and is done. You do not have that option for for the wizard. The wizard could cast. I mean, you don't have melt and mist. So I prefer lightning bolt, or I prefer a summon elemental for the same reasons. And by the way, this chart again is wrong. I don't know if I've overtuned these summon spells, that they're too good now, but I do like taking them. I think they are very, very good. Very good spells, very good options. But you only get two as the way. So I don't like the Type 4 as the wizard primarily. I think the Type 4s are a little rougher for him to pull off. And he might have some better options in the game with all the extra spells. So if we look at his course of spells here, I mean, obviously I'm tempted to take Flame Sword and Sleep as a for instance. So that would be what you'd have to do. You'd have to Fiery Blast and Sleep, pretty much. And you could do that. So, I mean, he could take... So there you go. So it would be Flame Sword and maybe Sleep, or Fiery Blast and Sleep would be one combination that I would certainly consider. For Flame Sword, you were going and attacking singular big things. For Fiery Blast, you're attacking lots of little things, and then having to put the rest of them to sleep because you can't do anything else. And your Type 3 2 speed shit is the thing that's going to let Sleep work, because you can hit almost every creature in the game with it, minus a couple. But those couple you're just not going to fight. You're not going to go for the octopus. You're not going to go for the imp. Anyway, so that's a good combination. Another good combination would be Flame Sword Mirror Images, with the caveat that this is a riskier choice. You would, let's say you do Flame Sword and then you do, say, Mirror Images. You would effectively be, making the assumption that this combat's going to last a few rounds. You also could just get screwed because you roll one image. Let's say you have three guys you're fighting, hoping to take the first one out with Flame Sword, so that drops it to 2, and then take a couple images so that you can take those 2 hits on subsequent rounds. But this is a longer setup because you're probably casting Flame Sword for round 1, you're attacking round 2, or casting Flame Sword or Mirror Images on round 2, and then attacking on round 3. That's a lot of setup for that fight. You can do that if you're hidden. So that is a good choice. The mobility choices would be Torchbearer, Fleetfoot, potentially Summon Animal. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go... The nice thing with Flame Sword versus, say, Fiery Blast is, again, better use of your chits. You're using the Type 2s, you're using Type 4s, and you'd be using Type 3. So you're making use of all your magic chits. And you don't quite get to do that as well. The other option would be... I mean, you need a get out of jail free card, and Sleep is that for you. For a lot of fights. The other option would be Sleep and then just something else. So Sleep and, for instance, a Torchbearer, maybe, would be very mobility based. I say we go Sleep. I think we're just going to go, I mean, all that for frickin' standard pick. Well, you're welcome, sir. I think we're just going to go with what got us here in the first place. I'm going to go with Flame Sword and Sleep for the wizard this time. I think next time we'll try some more stuff, but let's just go Flame Sword and Sleep. I'll enlarge these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I don't think you need to see too much in there, and we can always pull up We can always pull them up with Alt, right? Yeah. So I think that's that. We're going to place these guys out and about on the board first. And in-house or guardhouse. So where does the wizard want to start? What gives him the best mobility effectively? I say the inn does. I say the inn gets you to 2 good spots right away. I say we start at the inn. The next character, the Black Knight, starts at the inn. Done. I mean, he is just 100% at the inn. I do need to get a map. Let's get our map camera up. So there you go, camera 5. The captain, in-house or guardhouse also. I say we're starting at the guardhouse. And I don't know if I'll hire immediately. I might peek into the deep woods. I might peek into the ruins. And then the dwarf, I think, starts at the guardhouse primarily so that he can get straight into that cavern. Now, once you get out of the cavern, though, man, that is a rough haul anywhere else. So I think our dwarf, I think we screwed our dwarf a tiny bit. Maybe by picking this map. But I said generally I love the map. I think the map's, well, I don't love it. I think it's interesting. Has a hole in the middle, which I'm always a sucker for a giant lake. There needs to be a special rule for this, is largely what I'm thinking. And I think that's it. I think we're good to go. So let's get the event bag out. Let's get our event deck, and let's get our quest deck out. So here's our quest deck. Put it right there. I am going to increase the size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 also. And we'll see how that looks. The event deck, I'm going to put it up here like we've been doing. It's a little awkward, though. We don't have a ton. You know what? It's going here. I think this is okay, right? We'll put it over here. We got some free table space over here. And then I'll move the event bag too. So there you go. Done and done. So let's get quests for all of our guys. First off, I'm just going to draw 1 card first. I'm going to reshuffle. Let's see how they look here on the side. So I think he's a little bit farther over than I would normally. I usually try to put it right here in between this line. I don't think those are too bad. Let's see how they look. If I go to the first camera, you can see that, right? Tiny hut. I think you can see it. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with that size. Oh, we need a 6 camera. Put that back on the deck. Here's my camera number 6. Control 6. There we go. Let's reshuffle and draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 2, 3, 4. All that elementary school and high school band paid off. Let's flip them. So our wizard gets a rescue, explore the mountain, and guide. I like a guide. I don't necessarily mind explore mountain, but you know, it's It's a thing, so let's see how that looks on camera. I think that looks okay. I think you can. I think we can use that. I think I keep all three of those. Where's the mountain for our wizard? It's right there, so you can get that quick. You keep it. I'm going to take rescue. I'm going to take explore mountain, and I'm going to take guide. Done. And he's going to keep all three of those. And I think one of the reasons that that's pretty cool for him is because with rescue, he can pick what he's going to fight. And he is a good fighter with flame sword, but only in certain circumstances. He's not like a genius fighter or whatever that can take anything. He can only take certain things. It just increases the number of good options that he has to fight. We get a purple source, useless, wolf tamer, and pilgrimage. I think I am going to ditch. So pilgrimage is easy to get to one thing. All we need to do then is find any one other thing. I think I will keep it. So we're going to keep that, but I'm dumping purple source and wolf tamer. So both of those are going to the discard. So we're going to draw 2 cards more for the Black Knight. And we're going to flip him. He gets sacrifice and locate the horde. And he has to keep those because you can only redraw once. So let's make sure that I can see everything I need to see. I think that shows up. That'll be our camera 2. So we'll write these in. Pilgrimage. I have no idea if I'm spelling pilgrimage right, by the way. Every time I look at it, it looks wrong. So there you go. We got 3 quests for the Black Knight. So not terrible. Our 3 quests for our captain. He's going to take. Oops. So Delver is to visit both Cavern and Cave 3. The challenge he can roll, and White Source. Well, White Source is going to go away no matter what. The challenge, take a random native group and roll it, and that guy's going to go at a random dwelling. So I do need some dice. And I need dice, and I need my event tables. Which I need a good place to put the event tables. Let's put them there. Let's move the event deck here. So I think that's not too bad. So for the captain, we are rolling 2 things, 2d6. The first is d6 plus 2. Who is challenging? The Lancers. So the topmost Lancer is going to challenge the captain, and he's going to challenge him at the house. So the topmost Lancer at house. Is he going to take that? I mean, the house is not super far away, but that's a little deceptive, right? How do you get to you have to go through Borderland 5 to get to the house. Do we even like the Lancers, or do we not like the Lancers? That I don't know why that doesn't matter, of course, but you know, as role playing goes. And we can see all the cards, so there you go. I think Delver's going away, and I think White Source is going away. So those two for certain. I like Challenge typically. The Lancers are a little dicey because you're going to have to you're going to cut through his horse also. But the Lancer is not a terrible fight for the captain. He can actually dodge most of those attacks and probably force a hit. Although that Lancer probably has a pony, right? Let's check him out real quick. Right. So these Lancers are sporting ponies, so they're going to be sprinting around. I am going to say, and how come we can't drop these back in the pile? Let's delete that. Delete that. I'm going to say he drops them all. I'm going to say the captain, although this is a risky move because, because now it's sort of a I have no idea what's going on now. I've lost all the cards. Oh, Delver's done. Oh, I see there's a hand area down there. Okay, got it. And if you move down to the hand area, does that actually help us at all? Like if we put the cards down, I don't like that, by the way. I don't love it. Don't love it at all. Could find a way to use that though at some point. So I'm going to draw 3 new cards. Now I got to take these, no matter what they are. Jesus Lord, what is going on? Okay. All right, boss, stop it. 1, 2, 3. So we're flipping these. We're keeping them all, at least at first. I have Mountain Pilgrim, Gift Exchange, and Pub Crawl. So Mountain Pilgrim. Gift Exchange is great for we can get a gift, and then Pub Crawl. The Pub Crawl, what's a Pub Crawl look like in this game? A Pub Crawl, Pub Crawl looks like a long home. I don't think I'm going to keep that in the long run. So let's get our 3 cards here in view, and let's see what. There we go. Good enough. Camera 3. Let's grab the Dwarf's cards. And the Dwarf has locate Spider Slayer. Natives arrive, so you can pick a native group and put it on the board. And then locate the altar. Camera 4. I don't hate these. Spider Slayer is dicey because you're either in the cairns or you're in the mountains. I don't want to be in either of those if I can help it. Having said that, you are going to walk through the deep woods, so you're going to possibly see the deep woods. The deep woods is a mountain hex. Natives arrive is easy, and then locate the altar. Well, I mean, that's sort of just random chance whether you're going to find the altar or not. I will say, so what you're, my gut says redraw that one. We'll get rid of Spider Slayer. And the reason is, if the Deep Woods doesn't pan out, I'm going to try to not Ghost Hunter. Don't love that one either, but I got to keep it now. So, natives arrive at the boon, locate or an event, locate altar, and Ghost Hunter. Those are our 3 quests. So we'll have to deal with those as we get to them. Oops, Ghost Hunter. There you go. I did the thing where you're wondering why the hell isn't your cursor moving or whatever when you're typing, and it's just that. So let's fix that. Done. Okay. So I did it again. Oh my god. So let's get the events on the board. Dead Adventurer, a Dwarven Smith in the Lost Castle, and the Lost Warlock. So, the Dwarven Smith, the fact of the matter is, so the Smith goes here. We have a DA, Dead Adventurer, and delete, and the Lost Warlock. Let's put these guys out on the board. Dead Adventurer first. We're gonna roll right now, and we got a 9-2, so Mountain 2. So the Dead Adventurer is here, and that is good because that is a nice easy point for somebody actually. The Dwarven Smith just goes in the Lost Castle, so done. Now the Dwarven Smith is intriguing because let's say the Lost Castle appears here. If the Lost Castle appears here, man, I would go grab him and drag him right back because you're going to get one of these super powerful weapon upgrades. So it's nice. It's fun when the Smith appears early, and you got 3 fighters. Every one of these fighters would totally grab one of these powers. And I mean, I think you're probably taking either quick or sharp. Leaden is a little bit of a there's a very limited use case for taking leaden. But man, you put a sharpness star on some of these weapons, or you put a quick time on some of these weapons. So, for instance, the Amazon, always take the sharpness star. Done on your short sword, if that's what you're still using. The Dwarf could turn his axe into a frickin' monster. I would take time 3 here, and then you are a legend with that axe. The Black Knight, either take your mace and add a sharpness star to it, or you take the mace and turn your your medium 3 attack into a medium 2 attack, which you can make heavy. So now you are literally killing. I think there's so few natives on the board you cannot kill it at. Like, you can kill everything. And then you become the ultimate goblin killer, because it doesn't matter what side they're on, you are auto-hitting every damn time. So there's every character in the game, every warrior in the game loves that. Let's place the Lost Warrior. I'm tired. I'm sorry I pontificated. The Lost Warrior goes in the mountain of the Lost Warlock, Mountain 5. So the mountain is a great start for both the Wizard and Black Knight. And there you go. Those are our events. And the Dead Adventure I can actually just toss up here into the discard because it doesn't really matter at this point. These 2 are going to stick out there. But that's our board. I like the cards better than the no cards, frankly. I think this has worked out pretty well. I think the board greatly favors these 2, the Wizard and the Black Knight, because you got 2 points right here. These 2 are sort of left out in the cold for now. And yeah, the captain's sort of screwed. Mountain Pilgrim is so far away comparatively. Gift Exchange is great, but he's so remote again, comparatively to where you'd want to be. And Pub Crawl, I mean, yeah, I'm not super happy with how that ends up for the captain or the dwarf. So we're gonna have to see if they can overcome this sort of crappy start. The dwarf natives arrive is fine. Locate altar is a maybe. Ghost hunter, you're never going to walk up there. There's no real way. There's no real strategy which causes you to be trying to get up here. Now, it's possible that you'll be forced up here if indeed nothing appears here. Then you were sort of forced to meander your way up to get to either the borderlands and the caves in here, or try to get to the caves here. In which case you are going to be facing those. But that is hopefully not going to happen. I am hoping, beyond all hopes, that what happens is this is a good hex and this is a good hex. And, or these three are good hexes. So that's it. That's the setup. I think we have an interesting game coming up. Thank you guys very much. And I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.